Now I'd like to talk about drawing blind inner contours. Usually we do blind inner outer contour, but because I want to concentrate on only inner details, I thought that I would title this blind inner contour alone. Here's the photo that I showed you before. I'm now going to take that sneaker, which is off camera, and I'm going to draw a small section of the inner contours blind. That is to say that I'm not going to look at my iPad screen while I'm drawing. You're just going to have to trust me on that. But you'll see that I'm trying to draw with great sensitivity, recording every lump and every bump, although those lumps and bumps or those laces and other details may not wind up being exactly the right size or exactly in the right place. At one point in this video, I'm going to pause, and then the rest of my drawing will appear in order to save time. Let me get started. I start with a blank piece of paper and my drawing material. I've now set my sneaker on the desk next to me so that I'm not going to be tempted to look at the screen while I'm drawing. I'm going to start by drawing the area of the lace knot. So you'll notice that I'm going to start, and I'm drawing larger than I ordinarily would, because drawing larger is definitely easier. And I'm drawing this inside detail, working very slowly and deliberately. I'm using one continuous line, because if I don't use one continuous line, what will happen is I'll be forced to look at my paper in order to figure out where I left off. You may have difficulty understanding what you're seeing me drawing here. Because although I'm being quite sensitive in recording the shapes of the laces, my accuracy, getting them the right thickness or the right length, is probably off. You'll notice that I'm having difficulty speaking to you while I'm drawing because, as Dr. Betty Edwards puts it, trying to use language while you're drawing creates a brain crunch. And so it's important for you to try not to talk while you're drawing, because you're actually interfering with your brain's ability to focus on the task at hand. I'm now going to pause the video so that I can continue drawing for you. So now I've completed quite a bit of my drawing, and let's take a look at it. We're now going to critique the drawing. That is to say, we're going to talk about what it is that makes it a good drawing and what it is that makes it a drawing that could be made better. So if we take a look at the area of the laces over here, you can see that my lace, this one right over here, is definitely got a shape. It doesn't look like a single line. It does actually look like it has a shape. So that is good. but you can see that the lace itself kind of crosses over itself rather than keeping that rectangular shape. That's because I was working blind. That is to say, I was not looking at what I was drawing. Now, if we take a look at the front of the shoe, in this area over here, we'll see that I've included lots and lots of details, lots of lumps and bumps that make the shoe look like a shoe. However, if I get rid of all of these red marks and we lean back and look at it, let's do that now, we'll see that the front area of the shoe, although it is very sensitive, is really not accurate. It lacks accuracy. How do we know that? Because the front of the shoe really doesn't look like the front of the shoe. It looks kind of too stretched out, whereas the back of the shoe has a little bit more accuracy. Now it's your turn to try doing a blind inner or blind inner-outer contour drawing. Remember, do not look at your paper at all. If you find yourself looking at your paper, you need to stop. You can also ask your teacher for a pencil guard, and that will keep you from being able to see your paper, even if you try to. Good luck.